Thank you for making the time. They had to postpone this thing so that you are around to mother it. That's why you call Prime Minister. They are one of the directors. You know the CEO.
I know him. I know the struggles. I've never forgotten. Yes. I know him.
The members of parliament, the chair of the National Housing, Engineer Honorable Wanzusi Wasieba, and the other board members. Our guest of honor, we have got the town clerk of Makindye Sub-Viable Municipality, probably the most important urban CEO next to the ED of Kampala Capital City Authority. He is right here to welcome you. We also have the local boss, the chairperson of LC1 of Lueza, the secretary of the Electoral Commission and all the management of the Electoral Commission. We also have our construction partners, China Construction Company Limited. Ni hao. Yes. We have got religious leaders, our guest of honor, the press, all the invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, including senior security officers who are right here with us. We have Mr. Okoyo, Regional Police Commander, is here. We have Namutosi, the one in charge of this area. There are others whose names I didn't get. Our guest of honor, you are the one we were waiting for. You have come here to midwife a very important milestone. You have been part of this journey. And there is a foundation stone there, which will be the climax of your presence here. It is in recognition of your important role that even while you were away representing us in New York, the Electoral Commission decided that nobody else should come to preside over this. Otherwise, there is no shortage of guests of honors. I could have even been one. There are many people. So it is not only just because you are Prime Minister, but because of who you are in this kind of initiatives. This groundbreaking has been part of a journey. Let our guest of honor see what she will be coming to unveil, probably accompanied by the President of Uganda. Exactly.
I will be the one to accompany.
Okay. Okay. She will be accompanying the President of the Republic of Uganda. In exactly 24 months, terms and conditions apply. The terms and conditions, Right Honorable Prime Minister, are money. There is a very good friend of ours, in cabinet who like saying money is coming.
Money is available.
Yes. And there's a senior officer here, Teresa is there. She will definitely report to the PSST. So those are the terms and conditions. Under the leadership of the chairperson and the commissioners, there have been a number of infrastructure projects. The first regional election office outside Kampala has already been inaugurated in Arua. It already exists. Now today, we are breaking ground for the home of the Electoral Commission in Uganda. Our guest of honor, Right Honorable Prime Minister, renting office and storage facilities affects the budget of institutions and therefore the national budget. It's our duty that we should applaud institutions like the EC. Power was demonstrated by the size of your castle. So if you had a big castle and a big palace, then you are the most powerful king. Then kings gave way to religious institutions. So power was defined by the size of cathedrals and grand mosques and other places of worship, like the temples. Then the religious institutions gave way to the state, and then power became defined by the sizes of houses of legislatures and residences of heads of state. That's why we revere the White House, we revere Capitol Hill. And here, when somebody says, we are going to enter the State House. So power was defined by that grand architecture. Nowadays, power is defined by the headquarters of companies and corporations. So you hear of the headquarters of Google, the headquarters of Apple, headquarters of Toyota. So power has been defined through the grandeur of architecture. I believe that the power of the Electoral Commission will be defined by the structure which we are going to see here. This journey started in a zigzag manner, our guest of honor. By the time I arrived to assume office as Minister of Justice, the journey had started. I'm just a lucky person to reap where I have not sowed. Okay, where I have not sowed much. It is like you arrive when the fruits are already there. How lucky can you be? So all of us should count ourselves lucky. One time, some people went to the president and told the president to transform a hospital somewhere along Ginger Road to the headquarters of the EC. Obviously, a hospital cannot be designed to be headquarters of the Electoral Commission. But some people are so persuasive, and they even made the president write a letter asking us to explore that as an option. Of course, he had second thoughts when he got better information. Then some people came peddling a wetland in Butabika. I'm sure they arrived in your office. Yes, thank you for being combative. That's why they call you Manjegere. Well, that does not make you many friends, but it makes your country to love you and to appreciate you. I'm sure they don't like you at all because you stepped in their deal. Ladies and gentlemen, a wetland was being peddled.
I'm not regretting.
Yes. And I'm sure they will find time to come and apologize because I believe they will come for another deal. They were taking you to a mosquito-infested swamp to be your headquarters. Those are some of the interesting things you witness when you're in government. It is generally called Chiwani. There are people who sit and concoct something totally bogus. Then they start selling it from office to office. Again, the president, on your advice, rejected it. Of course, the option of Bwebaja campus was supposed to be a kind of emergency measure. But what we are witnessing today shows a lot of trust. I think the Electoral Commission is really trusted. To be given land before you have paid it. They are only holding on to the title. But what is the title, Engineer Kaizoka? You can't build on it. You've already handed over the land. We thank you for your faith in the Electoral Commission and for your partnership. Our guest of honor, before you came, there was a cheeky political party leader who came here and said, he sees Ugandan doctors, he sees Ugandan lawyers. Where are the engineers? I think he was insinuating that we are only seeing Chinese. Yeah, don't we have Ugandan engineers? So, Engineer Kaijuka, today you must be applauded as the Council for the Defense of Engineers. Because you are leading. National Housing is leading. The others are partnering with National Housing, whether they come from Turkey, from China, or from wherever. They are doing it under your guidance. I congratulate you, Mr. Chairman, my Lord, Justice Byabakama, for making the decision and winning the support of government. I call upon the local authorities and the people of Makinde Sawagabo to tap into the opportunities that this project brings to this municipality. Right Honorable Prime Minister, the LC1 chairman said finally the thieves have nowhere to hide. This has been a den for thieves because it was bushy and they had 80 acres of refuge. Finally, this project has evicted them, and those who live here can now breathe some fresh air. But above all, today we hope we can celebrate big thinking. The architectural plan that we have seen is so grand and so beautiful, so magnificent, that whether we receive visitors from South Africa, whether we receive visitors from Europe or United States, they'll respect us. I think you are setting a very high standard for another project. Our guest of honor, as you know, there is another initiative that you spearheaded, the humanitarian agency. They are coming here. Now since they are for the whole of Africa, I don't know how they will meet the challenge of having structures that are better. And Engineer Kaijuka challenged me on your behalf because I was the only minister at the table. So I received the full dosage of his frustration with our scattered approach to development. He basically said, look, now that you are one government, why don't you plan together and save money? If we are doing internet cables, let it be able to serve EC, African Humanitarian Agency, and everybody. If we are going to bring water, let it be done in anticipation of all the projects that are going to be here. If we are going to have a substation for electricity, let us not just build one for the EC headquarters. Let us already think about what is to come. So in his presence, I want to transmit the full currency of that high voltage opinion to you. Engineer Kaijuka, I hope I have accounted. You cannot say, Mr. Mao, when we tell you things, you don't tell the bigger people. I've decided to do it in your presence. So let us work as one government. That is the message. Finally, the truth of the matter is that elections are a good thing. And managing elections is not easy. Right now, a man whose job nobody would want is Dr. Tanga Udoi. I really don't envy that man. For those who have been criticizing you, my lord, let them know how difficult it is to organize elections. Organizing election within a party is very hard. Now imagine for the whole country. People who are thinking differently. So I hope this brings some level of humility to those who criticize you recklessly. This thing is not easy. That is why some institutions really do it behind closed doors, like the Catholic Church. They just close themselves in the chapel and have cardinals who are of a certain age.
Wait for the white smoke.
And then everybody is standing waiting for the... And there are no petitions, there is no tribunal. The ballots are hidden burnt, so there cannot be a recount. But because they have been doing it for centuries and centuries, they accept it. I like Ugandans not to lose hope. Those who we admire have been experimenting for a very, very long time. Uganda is still in diapers in terms of the age of nations. We are not even yet an adolescent. We have not yet reached the puberty of democracy. We are really still in infancy. So let us just be vigilant and work with the Electoral Commission. Always there will be disputes. And today we are showing that, contrary to what people think, government agencies can actually work together. We have demonstrated by the presence of people in this room. One time a couple was quarreling during divorce proceedings on how to share what they have. They had 3 children, and they really didn't know how to share the 3 children equally. So they requested, after consultation, that they should be given about 9 months to have another baby. So that they could share the children. After 9 months, they gave birth to twins. Our guest of honor, that's how difficult government is. It's now my honor to invite you to address us.